Hey, Bug, welcome behind the anvil. I was going to say behind the podcast, but behind the anvil podcast. Every now and then I screw up the intro, but Doug, before we get into it, just like anybody else out there, we got to pay bills, right? Well, how I pay my bills is I make knives. So, behind the anvil is brought to you by Mike's Damascus Knives, where I make custom Damascus knives from kitchen to everyday carry to hunting to camp knives or everything in between there. So, plus we do offer knife making experiences if you're local or traveling through the area. So you can find that more at mikesdamascusknives.com and Mike's Damascus LLC on Facebook, and as well as, or just plain Google us. Easier, find us all. Anyway, Doug, I'm going to invite you to go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself and give yourself promotion.
Sure. First off, I want to throw you a plug because I got one of your knives. I gave it to my son as a gift when he got back from the border
Oh,
after being down
yeah.
there for a year. He thoroughly enjoyed it, so thank you so much. It was a really nice piece.
We'll definitely ask you some questions on that, see what you think. So, but well, tell us a little bit about Jasper Rabbit, where they can find you, what, and all that real
Yeah,
quick. And
yeah. It's my children's book line, Jasper and Friends. You can find us at jasperandfriends.com. Jasper's books are all over the place online. You can get them on Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, Amazon.com. Thrift books, I mean, you pretty much name it online and they'll be there. And our goal is to get them in stores at some point in time. And good Lord willing, that will happen.
that's awesome.
Most of my social media stuff is at Warthog 462 because I worked on the A-10s as a weapons loader. So that's where that all comes together.
Ooh. Oh, we're going to ask questions about that if we can, because that is one of my favorite planes. So if you got any stories about them, that that is that is an awesome plane. I'm not an expert on it. I've read a little bit about it, but we're going to hear about that. But Doug, go ahead and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll jump. Well, yeah,
Yeah,
we'll just.
sure. Yeah, I mean, I was born in Phillipsburg, New Jersey as a little skinny, nerdy kid. We moved to Maryland in 1979 as a family and became poultry farmers. Then in 1985, I decided to join the military. And since I can't swim and I can't run long distances, I figured the Air Force was the way to go. And yeah, did 20 years there. First four at Davis Monthan Air Force Base in Tucson, Arizona, teaching hog pilots how to fly. Then went to Korea for a year working on the F-16. Came back to Shaw and spent 15 years there, pretty much split in half. The first half was back with the A-10s, and the second half was F-16 and F-16 back shop. But it was a lot of fun. I mean, I did 4 tours to the Middle East. That was enough for me, and part of the reason why I decided to retire after 20, because I figured I did my 4 tours to the Middle East, and I didn't want to do 4 more, so we'll just go ahead and call it a career. It was a good one.
Nice. A-10 Warthog. That is I remember I was up in Idaho, unloading just outside of Boise, and I didn't realize there was some. Apparently, there was some there. The airport wasn't too far where it was, and there were a few of them, I guess, doing their taxi run, coming in, flipping around. I tell you what, that is a really, really cool plane. If you don't know anything about it, go look it up, read up on the history of that. Um, it's got a definitely a unique sound when that gun goes off. That's a 20 millimeter. Am I correct on
Well,
that?
it's 30 millimeter.
30 millimeter. Sorry, I was off. I apologize, internet. Don't hit me in the
Give me
comments.
1 second.
One
Hold
thousand.
on. What the round looked like. In case anybody wanted to know what the round looked like.
Ah, yes.
There it is.
Ooh.
It's not live, don't worry. I'm not blowing anybody up here. But
I want I want one.
it's it's
I will
not
send you a
small.
knife for one.
It is not small, that's for sure. I've got
Man,
a 3 millimeter here too. It's about half that size, basically.
I have a 50 caliber here somewhere, and I think I got a 20 millimeter round somewhere too. I really need to get my studio finished so we don't have to do the AI generated um background. Dan's gonna do a little bit different, but can we you want to dive in about a little bit about the Warhog a little bit and little stories on
Yeah,
that? Or
man.
let's dive into it
Certainly.
because I'm just dying to. I didn't know about that you did all that. I was listening to a guy, a Sean Ryan podcast here a while back, a gentleman who, and maybe you might know him. I can't think of his name. About his career, and he was an A-10 Warthog pilot and everything else, and his story, what he did and brought him. Yeah, it was really good. I'll have to find that and see if you know him. I'll bet you do. That'd be kind of cool. And listen to that and reading a little bit that I know about that. But tell us about the what you know about the A-10. I'll shut up and let
Well,
you talk.
when I was down at Davis Mountain, and if I get his name right, I think it was Dan Hennings. He was a linebacker or something for the Dallas Cowboys eventually, and he was going through uh, learning how to fly the A-10. He was first going to be join the Air Force, and then when he got drafted, he's like, "Nope, nope, I'm going to go play football." But that was one of the biggest human beings. I didn't think he was going to fit in the cockpit. Um, and he came back with a gun issue, and we told him, "You pulled the trigger too hard, sir. We were just messing with, you do that with pilots sometimes." But that was kind of a fun thing. He shook my hand, and I swear to God, I think his hand went up to my elbow. It was just so big. It's just a large human being. Uh,
Sounds like it.
yeah, I
Um,
mean, I did some. I did loading. I did maintenance on the A-10, pulling that 30 millimeter gun system out and tearing it all the way down and putting it back together again, that sort of thing. Got
nice.
to run up the jet, of course, apply power and do all the functional checks. Um, it got to the point where my crew chief, whenever there was an A-10 that would come back, what was it, code 3 for weapon system, they'd say, "Well, send Barry out there with a flashlight, a ladder, and a speed handle, and the TO, and he'll come back and tell you what's wrong with it." So I had a little bit of a reputation there towards the end.
Nice. That's way cool. What are besides the gun on it, which was basically that thing is a wing with guns, a gun on it, a gun with wings, I should say. I said that
Yeah,
backwards.
gun
I
with wings,
apologize.
exactly.
What other ordnance does that usually carry? Did you load on those?
Um, it's all different now. We did 500-pound bombs, 1,000-pound bombs, aim nines, chaff flare. I don't think I'm giving up any secrets from 100 years ago, so it's not a problem. But some Maverick missiles, that sort of thing.
Nice.
I know I'm leaving something out.
Hell on
But
wheel,
anyway,
hell on wings for the enemy.
yeah,
Um,
that thing will ruin your day in a hurry. And I think when it was flying over in the desert, they called it the Cross of Death, is what the our enemy called it when they saw it flying above them. They just knew they were in a world of hurt.
and I've heard stories of listened to different podcasts and different veterans and such who were over there, and it says um, if they found out they were out flying about, like, yeah, we'll go on patrol. Oh, they're not going out? Okay, never mind. Um, those pilots, from what I understand, saved a lot of lives on the ground, and it's a really fascinating plane. I really ought to get me a model. Matter of fact, I'll get off here. I'm going to look up and see if I can find me a model and put it in with my. I think that would go with a good collection of my, Star Trek stuff.
There you
So,
go. Old school. Well,
what other planes did you work on besides the A-10?
the F-16. I got to work on
Ooh.
that. That's the plane they use for the Thunderbirds. I didn't get to
Um,
work on the Thunderbirds, but I got to work on the plane.
Nice. I guess they're bringing the F-16 back, from what I understand. I've been
Well, the
reading.
18's got a reprieve, and the F-16, I don't know that they're ever going to get rid of that. But that was a good plane. I enjoyed my time on the A-10 more though.
Why would that be? Out of curiosity.
Just I think because it came to me so easily. The F-15 or the F-16 rather is a little bit more complex, and I'm not saying I couldn't troubleshoot it or anything like that. I could. It's just the A-10. I knew it like the back of my hand. I mean, sometimes you just jive with something, and that's what it was with me and the A-10. We just kind of blended well.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, and again, I probably could simply Google test it, but hey, um, in the A-10, I mean, you got the hydraulics. Is there a backup of cable system in the
Yeah, there's like a backup to the backup to the backup in the A-10. That's why they can loiter over an area so long. They can take hits. Uh, it's just incredible. I mean, you literally, I think, have to blow the thing up in the sky to get it to actually fall. I've seen so many pictures of planes that came back from combat that were just absolutely blown to pieces, and the pilot still brings them in and lands them. It's like just absolutely amazing.
Wow. Yeah, I heard that you got to be in pretty good shape to fly one of those because if your hydraulics go out and they've got cables and such, you can fly it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is correct. So I was told right. All right, cool. Um,
Yeah.
definitely have some arm strength for that. It sounds like. Um, what size of engines are on those?
I don't know anything about the engines.
Okay,
I wanted to be a jet engine mechanic because I was quite a gearhead when I joined. That position was filled, so they put me in under open mechanic. And I heard I was one of the positions was a weapons loader armament system. It's like, well, at least I'll be working on the plane. So I went ahead and signed up for that deal.
awesome. Well, cool. Well, thanks for letting me dive into that, man. I really ought to get me a book
Yeah.
on that and read. I've listened to, I do better listening stories about it. And like I said, with the gentleman who was on Sean Ryan's podcast, I'll find that and see if I can find that and send it to you. It was just fascinating with his career with that. And that's what he wanted to do is go in to fly that Pacific kind of plane until he got a neck injury from the headgear and such. Then they put him in down here in Las Vegas and had him flying drones when the drones started coming out, which was pretty interesting. But tell us about, let's dive into it. The rabbit of the hour, the man of the hour, Jasper the Rabbit. How did you come up? And I know I've heard a little bit of this story, but for people who have found this podcast that haven't heard of you before, how did you come up with Jasper Rabbit?
Yeah, that started, well, the first published book was in 2020, but the story started long before then. My son was about 10 years old, I think. He's 30 now. Uh, he caught a baby rabbit in the backyard of the house, brought it in the house, named it Jasper, and it spent the night, and we let it go the next morning. I think he brought it in because there was a storm and he was worried about it. He didn't want it to be out in the storm. And when we let it go the next morning, I looked at my wife. I'm like, what a great idea for a kid's book. Except in the book, Jasper doesn't get caught and brought in the house because I didn't, if the book went over big, I didn't want a bunch of kids running out in their backyard trying to catch baby rabbits. So in the book, he actually sneaks in through a little doggy door, a little cat door, kind of thing, and comes in and the kids in the story, the kid's named Jasper, and they play with him, and he doesn't, they don't take him out the next day. He falls asleep in the house and spends the night there. And then when he wakes up, he's like, well, I probably need to get outside. I probably don't need to stay in here. So he goes outside and tells all his buddies, has to convince all his little woodland friends that he stayed the night in a people house.
Nice.
So that's how that all started. It took me a long time to find a publisher to publish it. I ended up going the route of a hybrid publisher, which is a kind of deal where you got to pay up front, but they handle everything, and your book is completely set up to be in stores at some point in time. Um, it's pricey, and with each book I do, it seems like the price goes up. So I don't know how much longer I'll be doing it that way. But we've got three out. We've got The Night I Spent in a People House, and I thought I'd sell 30 books, sold about 500. And people started asking me what my next book was going to be about. And I had no idea because I thought I'd be one and done. So I thought about it a little bit. It's like, well, we like to vacation in Myrtle Beach. So we'll figure out a way to get the woodland critters to the beach where they've probably never been before and let them have a little adventure out there. And then after I got that done, it was the same thing. It's like, well, where's he going next? And I'm like, holy cow, I didn't think there'd be a second book, let alone a third book. So I had to think, and I fell back on my farming roots and figured out that Mouse probably lived on a farm. So they all wonder where Mouse was one day. And he was down on the farm. So they went down there and he had a bunch of chores he had to get done. He had to feed the animals, water the animals, and plant a garden, that sort of stuff before he could play. So they went down and helped him with all of his chores.
That's cool.
And that's the extent of those three books. I've got about three more written, just trying to, gather up the money to get them done or figure out another way to do it that's more cost effective. But yeah, it's branching out. I mean, we've got some merchandise now for it on Zazzle.com. If you search for Jasper and Friends on Zazzle.com, you can get all kinds of merch, hats, t-shirts, cups, all kinds of stuff on there.
Daisy started here a while back was knitting was going to knit you a Jasper Rabbit from Crochet, whatever. Same thing. She's she's in the same. She's in the other room. She Crochet teenagers. Um, she started on that, and it wasn't coming out the way so she got frustrated, put it away for a little bit. But one of these days, she might get back and finish it. It was looking pretty cool. I mean, I told her it didn't have to be 100%, but she's got a little bit of the ADHD and a little bit of the autism, and it's got to be just right, or you can't have it. So one of these
Well, I
days,
mean, I'm kind of the same way. I got a Jasper back here somewhere. We do have a stuffed Jasper too. Um, I can't really sell those because I didn't know at the time how they were supposed to be labeled, that are actually supposed to be sewed into them so you can resell them. So I pretty much just use them for like a buy three of my whenever I go out and do a signing. If you buy 3 books, I'll throw in a free stuffed Jasper. And
nice.
uh, yeah, I don't have too many left. I only got about 5 left. And if I do keep the stuffed Jasper, we've gone through a little bit of a rebranding, and I've spent some time with all the characters and got them to the 3D Pixar style character now, which I've used in a lot of my online content. And I think if I do another Jasper stuffed toy, we're going to use the 3D Pixar style rendering of Jasper to kind of bring it up to date a little bit.
Very cool. Um, I still think, Jasper Aspet comes the A-team.
I did a funny little video with that in a voice on one of my trips back to Maryland. I got bored, I guess, and I came up with a little script that was kind of like the A-team introduction to the A-team thing, and found a voice that was real deep and military sounding, and that was a lot of fun. A lot of people like
I
that
think
one.
I think I think I remember seeing that a while back. It's been a little bit.
Yeah.
So what is one of the struggles you were saying, you finding a publisher, once you got that in there, was there any I guess road bumps you could say as you're working with the publisher and anything like that? What kind of issues did you have with that kind of deal?
Well, yeah, like so many things that I do, I don't let the fact that I don't know what I'm doing stop me from doing things. I'm not a, so
Dang, that's
once
when
I
I
got
started this.
started,
I don't know what I'm doing. We're just
I
doing
know.
it.
So once I got started with it and everything, and I realized I didn't really know what all went into to publishing a book, which would made it a good thing that I got one of those hybrid publishers because they kind of hold your hand through the whole thing. And it came to the point to where they're like, okay, well, the story's great and everything. Now we need you to tell us what image you want, what you want the illustrator to draw on each page. And I'm like, wow, I thought about a lot of stuff, but for some reason that never crossed my mind. I figured they would just read the story and produce the images to go with what the story said. So I found myself struggling. Uh, this was the night I spent in a people house, and then I realized that I myself do indeed live in a people house. So I went around with my phone, my camera down about knee high, maybe a little bit lower, taking pictures inside my house, in my backyard, in the front yard, down by the pond. I'm sure my neighbors all thought I'd lost my mind, wondering what in the world this guy's doing.
Oh, that's
But
funny.
yeah, but I use those images, and I sent those to the illustrator, and I said, now just put like this character, that character here, make them like standing around in a circle like they're talking. But that's how I did the first one, and that worked out. But I learned along the way, and I've gotten better at describing to the illustrator what exactly I want to see without having to run to a farm or run to the beach to take pictures. So that was probably the part that I don't want to say I struggled with it. It only took me like a day or two to figure it out, but it was the one that caught me off guard. And I'm like, oh, how am I going to do this?
I would have thought the same thing, honestly. Well, just read it and what comes to your mind. I mean, that would work, but I could understand
Yeah,
they want to get more your vision with your writing, which
yeah.
makes sense. I needed to quit kicking the can down and just sit down and start writing it. I've been busy trying to pay bills with making knives and such, which are getting a little slow. Probably gonna go back to a little bit of truck driving here for a little while. Put the knives on a back burner for a little bit. Take a little vacation. I work in vacation somewhere else besides myself. If that makes any sense. But I'm with we're gonna with everything kind of working on it, like you said, expensive, but with AI tools come along, And I know you played with AI a little bit here and there, especially I'm guessing that
Yeah.
was the Picard kind of thing. Do you see yourself transitioning where you instead of have to work with a publisher because I'm sure you learned a lot in the last three books that maybe you could use. I don't know. There's tons of AI stuff out there anymore that does this stuff. I don't know how to do it, but um, have you thought about going that direction and be able to use AI into not only writing your book or telling it and then using it to help publish? If that makes sorry. Oh, it took me a minute to get the thought
Yeah.
out.
No, that's all right. I followed you completely. I am using it a little bit to bring the story to life. I started it and then I put it away for a little bit because it was back a couple, maybe a year ago. AI has really picked up a lot in the last year. It was maybe a year ago, and I was struggling getting it to keep the characters consistent and the visual look of the characters. And it's getting better at that. To back up, it's a story I was going to do using AI to make the characters move and use this new Pixar style character. And I was going to use it just on social media on YouTube. It was going to be a story about a mole who gets washed out of his den and comes up above ground, and he can't see because moles can only really see underground. The sunlight washes out their vision. And the guys were going to get together and help him find his way back to his hole. And I've got it about, I don't know, probably about halfway done. Oh, excuse me. And I don't know. I used to not have trouble finishing things, but I've here lately it seems like I have trouble focusing and finishing things. So I've got it like half done. And then I thought maybe it'd be cool to bring just the drawn pictures of Farmer Jasper to life and use the AI to make the motion through the pages of the book. So kind of like bring the pages of Jet Farmer Jasper alive and actually watch him walking around the farm and that sort of thing.
Nice. That's cool.
And again, I got that about half done, and it wasn't going to have any of the words on it. Like the first one about the mole was going to have the words on the page so that that could be read. The one with Farmer Jasper, I thought maybe I would just make the pages come to life and Farmer, and then I've got a voice for Jasper. I figured I would have Jasper read the story and put that behind the video. But again, I got like half the pages done and I just stopped for some reason. I don't know why. I'm retired. I got plenty of time. I don't know why I do this to myself. But
Risen with a tism, as they say, right?
yeah, hopefully I can reinvigorate myself and get those two knocked out because it is a little frustrating. You got two projects half done and you just stopped. I don't
And that's
like
the
that.
way I've been with my book is I haven't wrote in it in probably over a year. I got everything up here, how like where it's at, but I ought to just sit down and write it, but it feels too forced. And I'm sure we could come back with it, with I got a couple of friends who are editors and with AI editing. Um I handwrite it out because I can't type. I enjoy
Mhm.
handwriting. My poor daughter typed it in, has been helping me type it up, and it driving her nuts and everything. But I got it over in my head and trying to get it out, and I just maybe it's I've been focused on too much other stuff to really think on how I want to lay out. But I just trying to catch a certain scene in my head, and I want to get it on the paper just right to the point it's
Let's
making
see.
me stop. So, and I've had
Well,
that issue.
there's one thing I can point out that maybe you can steer clear a little bit. You're not going to get it right the first time.
True.
The important thing is just to get your thoughts on paper. I've edit my books ad nauseum after I get it down on paper. So the important thing is to just get the thought down on paper in front of you, and then just tweak it from there. And it's not going to take one tweak. It's not going to take two tweaks. It's not going to take three tweaks. You're going to tweak it four or five times. If you're lucky, that'll be enough, and you'll finally get it. But the important thing is just to start the process and get it on paper. Don't yeah. If you try to get it right the first time, you will drive yourself mad, I believe.
And that's where I'm at. And like I said, I was writing it, and I felt forced and didn't. I mean, there's been times I've wrote in it, and I put down like 20 pages in like 5 hours one night, and I looked at the clock and like, oh. it's 11 o'clock at night. And I started writing like six or something like that. Just sit down and it just started coming out of me like boom, 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 page. I'm doing single space between the lines so I can, if I need to, I can scratch that out and put something else in there. Or if I misspell a word or whatever. And, again, I'm not the greatest grammar because I'll forget a word. I mean, one time I forgot how to spell it. I'm like, how the hell do you spell it? And oh my God, IT, duh. It
Yeah.
was one of those, and luckily, with some of the words and such, I spell check, boom, okay. So that's helped
Yeah.
me out. And now we got AI, and I've used AI I put in a section to rewrite a little bit, and I'm thinking about this one. I typed out how I had it in the book, then I put the AI version in it, and I think I'm going to go back and delete that because I got looking back through, and I think I put two different. It's a nightmare scenario in the dream, part of the dream of the book of the character, and I kind of overdone it a little bit. So I'm going to delete the AI because I think it's overdone it, redundant. I'll
Mhm.
just leave it how I originally wrote it and let the editors take care of it. One friend of mine I interviewed here on, I think she was episode 3. She was help me going through and write, and she actually captured what I was seeing. She added more words in that would make it. 'Cause again, my vocabulary is probably not the greatest, but she have captured that. Um,
No, and there's a reason why I write kids' books too. So my
Make it a little easier.
vocabulary's
Well, mine's kind of a
you too.
post-apocalyptic scenario. World War III, get hit with multiple EMP, nuclear weapon attack. Our society literally collapses. The North American hemisphere is completely wiped out from attacks. I mean, a few other places get nuked. That kind of disaster kind of thing. So I'm a little more in depth, and I can see why you went with Child's book. A little easier, a little more simpler. It's probably why Robert Garcia likes the first book really well. Sorry, Robert, had to say it. Um, um, Besides that, you've also did a used AI. Speaking of AI, you used AI to write a fictional book, and I can't remember the name of it.
Yeah, I used it to use it on my book um Guardians of the Unknown. Yeah, Guardians of the Unknown is the title. And I've started to do a second book, Guardians of the Unknown Convergence.
Ooh,
And I came up with a great idea on my way to work for a science fiction novel. It's about two Air Force pilots, of course, and you follow them through becoming pilots, getting captured as a pilot and fighting his way out, and eventually follow his career through uh, different planes. He's an F-22 pilot to begin with. Then he's like, I want a job where I don't get shot at so much. So he goes and he decides to become an astronaut, and he flies this. I can't remember if the shuttle's in there or not, but flies. He ends up anyway on the International Space Station, and he sets a record for being on the International Space Station for so many period of time. And the whole time through that part of his career, he's catching UFOs, like the same UFO out of the corner of his eye every once in a while. He's like, what in the world is going on? Am I seeing things? And then once he gets back from the International Space Station, him and his buddy hear a report of a UFO that matches the description that's been dodging him and or dogging him rather. And so they go out in the middle of the desert, of course, and they see it there, and they creep up to it, and end up getting sucked into the UFO, and they go through this rift, and next thing they know, they're thrown in the middle of a turf war in some faraway galaxy.
ooh,
So they get befriended by a group of alien race there that's fighting against the other alien race, and they get their fancy ship, and they go on and kick some butt using good old-fashioned Earthling ingenuity and tactics to destroy the
aliens.
warring factor there. One of the funny things is a little thing in the book that I put in there was they're both captured and they're shackled. and the aliens come in, and they're trying to figure out how they're going to get out of there, right? It's like, what are we going to do? How are we going to get out of here? So the main character, whose name is his call sign is Orbit, he said, "Well, I'll fake a heart attack." And his buddy's like, "That's the oldest trick in the book, or that's the oldest trick on Earth, I think, or something like that." I worded it, and he's like, "Yeah, but we're not on Earth." So he's sort of think it should work, right? So sure enough, the aliens come in, and of course it works, and they make their their getaway, and they're running through this alien spaceship trying to get back to the docking area where their ship is at. And they get to the docking area where the ship's at, and there's a bunch of guards around there, and he's like, "Well, crap, how are we going to get to our ship?" And Orbit says, "You want to try that heart attack thing again?" Just kind of tongue in cheek, not meaning it for sure. And they both laugh about it. And he's looking over at some canisters and he's like, "I sure hope they're explosive." And he shoots one and it blows up and creates mass chaos. And they make a break for their ship and get out of there. But that's just kind of, they give you a little insight of the book, the kind of things that happen to them.
That's awesome. Um, Now, back when AI was coming out, we still have the issue, and everybody's like, "Oh, if you use AI, you didn't really write it." I disagree with that. I mean, I've heard, yeah, I'm like I said, this is stuff I've heard and watched people on the internet or people
Mm,
group throwing big fits. Well, you didn't really write it. Well, it's just when you're using AI, especially for me, which is a great tool for me because it's up here, but trying to get it on this or in the computer or on
yeah,
paper is where I struggle. I can see it in my head, I
yeah.
see the visual and translate it into words. AI is a tool. What do you say to people like that? That's like, if you wrote that and with your book, you wrote your children's book with it and you've used to your sci-fi book. What do you say to that? To people
I
that,
mean, AI is nothing more than a tool and a time saver. True, I mean, it's not like I just went in and said, "Write me a science fiction book." I would describe to AI, write chapter one on this, and then you write like about a 3 paragraph thing of what you wanted to write the chapter on, and it'll spit it out. Sometimes it sucks. You got to be like, "Nice try, try again." And sometimes it'll get close, and you'll be like, "All right." And when it gets close, you're like, "Well, I can fix this myself. I don't need AI to fix it." So you can get in there and you can delete some of the stuff you don't like, and you put in some of the information that you want to do yourself. So, I mean, I kind of see where they're coming from, but at the same time, too, it's like just because I have a good idea and like you say, maybe I don't have the vocabulary or the ability to get it down on paper, does that mean that I can't write it? I'm not allowed to write just because I have a great idea, but I can't put pen to paper.
and
So
I,
I see it more as a tool.
and that's
Uh,
where I'm at too, but and I put things in and I look back at it and I'm like, what? No, no, Ed, and it's taught me how to read my stuff and go back. Okay, how I have to pause and okay, edit this, da 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 da,
yeah,
da, change this to
exactly.
this, and then put it back in. And you got to. I've literally argued with it, and I had ChatGPT argue back with
Oh,
me, which was a little weird. Um,
I've done the
Whatever.
same.
I literally said, "Whatever, Mike." I'm like, "Oh, where is Sarah Connor? We need her, Terminator." Um,
Yeah, no, it's I view it as a tool. I don't know that it's a terrible thing. And if people say that if you don't write your whole book with AI, it just doesn't work that way. Or maybe I'm using AI wrong. Maybe there's folks out there that can do it, but I haven't figured out how to do it yet. I always need my personal input, and not to mention, I mean, it does write kind of what's the word I'm looking for? It doesn't really put sometimes the human heart in what it writes.
and
I guess it's maybe the best way to put it. It doesn't do uh, humor. I mean, like my book I did about the sci-fi stuff. I try to add a little bit of like that military humor stuff that some folks that were in the military and some folks that weren't in the military understand and realize it goes on and how we laugh our way through horrible situations. And sometimes that doesn't it
compute
doesn't go
with
through
the
AI
AI.
quite right. So you just kind of take the little scenario that it gives you and you rewrite it to make more sense and put that humor, that human touch to it.
And I found that myself too as well. And sometimes, when I put something in and it kicks it back out, like that was scary. Um, I got it saved on my chat GPT. I need to play with a little bit. I thought about maybe see if we could generate some uh AI videos, just not a video, but maybe just like comic book, just from one scene to the scene, alien thing. I'll have to send it to you. You'll laugh your ass off.
Yeah.
It's quite
No,
hilarious.
I started doing that with my Guardians of the Galaxy book. I was using AI to make a comic book with the different panels and stuff to follow along because I thought, well, I could turn one sci-fi novel into a series of probably 10 comic books, and it would be the one story, and I could probably publish those through Amazon KDP, and that's free of charge when you do it through them. That's another project I started, got probably one comic book, if not done, close to done, and stopped. So there's the third project I didn't follow through with. So thanks for
Sounds
pointing
like
that out for me, Mike.
sounds like we need to get a little shock collar and implant on the backside there. Hey, um,
Keep going, Dave Nabbit.
right. But yeah, I mean it's fun, and me and Brad, who does a little bit of editing for us and helps with my channel and such like that. We wrote some songs, and we're gonna dive. This will bring into yours. We wrote some songs for behind. We're gonna try to. He's gonna put together a clip together, doing like a music video entourage, so that we can. I'll send this video over to him. He'll add it on the beginning of it, and so it just kind of trails into the show or and then work it outwards, finish out for the end of it, just give it a little more pizzazz and just me throwing it on here because late that's all I do is I don't edit, don't cut it off. It's off the cuff, on go because I tried editing. No, I got to find somebody smart, and that's where Brad comes in. Um, Now you've yourself, you sent me a link. I didn't get a chance to listen to it yet. I apologize. It's been one of those days. But you've used AI to write a few songs, and you produced a few songs and sung a few of your own songs. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it all started after my first or second Jasper book. I read a book by Dave Knoll. I don't know if you were with us that one time Dave Knoll was on with you were because
Yes.
he spoke to you a lot. And I read his book, what was it called? Visionary in Charge. And he's always said, don't dream big, dream huge. So I got to thinking, what's the next step for Jasper and Friends if it's not just books? And I got to thinking Saturday morning cartoon. So I'm like, well, if I'm going to lead that way, every Saturday morning cartoon has a jingle. So I sat down and I wrote a little jingle and, ran it through some AI stuff and everything and fixed this and fixed that and came up with it. And then I was introduced to a fellow on LinkedIn who could use an app called Suno, which adds vocals and music. I didn't know at the time anything about that stuff, and I just sent him the lyrics, and he produced the jingle for Jasper and Friends, which turned out really cool. And he's like, your song was really good. Have you written anything else? And I said, well, 40 years ago, I wrote a Christian song called I Hear the Master Calling. And he's like, well, send it to me. Because he was a Christian. And so I sent it to him, and he's like, dude, you could sell these lyrics, I'm telling you today, eh, to anybody. He's like, this song is just incredible, which it was nice to hear. And he's like, have you done anything else? And I'm like, well, no, not really. I said, I kind of, every once in a while I'll screw around with writing like a just a beach escapism kind of song. And he's like, well, why are you wasting your time with that? He's like, your Christian song was incredible. So I wrote some more Christian music, and he put uh, the music and voice to it.
Oh, nice. You
Uh,
want to?
and we ended up putting it on Spotify. It's called Send Me with me and Matt Clark on it. And that's pretty much where the music thing kicked off. I wrote the lyrics to the song that's gotten the most traction so far called We Don't All Come Home the Same. And I thought to myself, during that period of time, I found out one of my good friends from Davis-Monthan Air Force Base, Tony Corrales, is actually a singer and an award-winning singer at that from the Josie Music Awards.
Ooh.
So I sent it off to him, and he's like, "Dude, this is awesome. These lyrics are incredible." So he's like, do you mind if I record it?" And I said, "Dude, I'd be honored for you to record it." And I thought that was just the greatest thing. So he recorded it. He put a little video together, and in a month we got 1,000 views on the video. He has been nominated this year for Country Music Male Vocalist of the Year, and we're still holding out for a nomination for the song itself uh, for Impact, Social Impact Song of the Year, and also overall Song of the Year. And I'm about to have a heart attack because they've been releasing every other category except the one my song's been in. So
Oh, that's
it's
got to be frustrating.
so we're sitting there hiding and watching, as I like to say. It's kind of cool to think that maybe the poultry farmer from Maryland has an opportunity to get on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry and receive an award for a song they wrote. That's just mind blowing. So if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it's been a heck of a ride, and I had fun anyway, you know.
True. Very true. I think I'm sitting there trying to figure out. Nope, that is not it. I'll find that script I was telling you about. It was kind of funny. I used ChatGPT and I put in the thing. I just spelled out this big long thing and it take and edit it, spell it for grammar. And I kicked out some really cool little scene. It was quite hilarious. Um, and captured a couple of the characters, actually more better than I thought. But um, that with ChatGPT, not ChatGPT, but with the music and such. I don't know how Brad does it. He sent me the link to go in and play with it. I looked at it. I'm like, no, I'll let somebody smarter than me do that and generate the song. It was pretty cool. I'll have to send it to you. But that's probably pretty cool. I mean, how many songs you said you gotten so far?
How many have I written?
Yes, written. Sorry.
Uh, Probably about 30 or 40.
Nice.
I probably I probably have an equal number that never made it because sometime like the last one I just finished up this morning. It was a great idea for a song. I've been working on it since I went home to Maryland, and it didn't seem like it was going to come together. It's called "Some Days I Miss Those Days," and I just put it out there on my YouTube channel and Facebook link. But it came together this morning.
Now you're gonna
Excuse
die
me.
on me, are you here, bud?
No, I'm good. So, we still do them every once in a while. I really have to find inspiration. I don't really call myself a songwriter because those cats, I think, can just sit down and write about anything. I really need hard inspiration. Uh, the one song that I woke up with it on my head in my head was um, "Watch Me Daddy" was the name of the song. And like little kids are always looking at their parents, going, "Watch me, Daddy," or "Watch me, Mommy, what I'm doing." So that's what the song's about.
It
And
sounds like fun.
if you don't pay attention to your children, they'll pretty much grow up without you
Mm.
realizing how they learned how to do stuff.
That is so true. That is a fact. If you have kind of kids out there, I mean, my youngest is 16 now. It's like, where did the time go? And just like Facebook throwing up pictures when she's little, go do 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 do. I'm like,
Yeah.
that just seems like yesterday. So, but
Yeah, and another one of my songs is called "Dirty Little" for a little while, and that really stems from my marketing from my children's books because I always say, "Let them be little." The time that they're little is just so fleeting, and so many people these days want to teach their children social adult stuff, and
mm,
that's what some of the children's books are. And I'm like, no, just let them be little. Just read these Jasper and Friends books that have no hidden agenda. They're just fun stories to let kids be kids. They just laugh along with the rabbit and when they do silly things. And the latest one, Farmer Jasper, probably has the most lesson learned in it because it talks about doing your chores and stuff and being responsible and that sort of thing before you go out and play and do that sort of thing. But they're really not written with a purpose. They're just written to be fun because I think that's what kids need. Folks just need to let them be kids.
Let them be kids. We're putting too much adult crap on kids, and this
Yeah,
that you got to be this way. You got to identify this way. It's like that's just let them be kids for crying out loud. I
yeah,
mean, it goes by
they
quicker
deserve
now,
it.
and time seems like anymore. It's just like it's the 15th of June now, and it was May just 2 hours ago.
Yeah,
It's going by quick, but gotta
exactly.
ask you what's with the gloves behind you, and it looks like in a nice little box.
Oh, that's I collect. I don't ever meet anybody, but there's a place online where you can buy sports memorabilia and you can get autographs. And I got to be honest with you, I don't even remember the name of the guy that's on the. Oh, Roberto Duran. It's autographed by Roberto Duran. And I don't really spend a whole lot of money on them. Everybody's like, "Oh, dude, you're gonna get ripped off. You don't know if these are real autographs or not." It's like I spend like $75, maybe $100 on an autograph. I don't do anything crazy. I don't go spending dropping $500, $600 on autographs. It's just fun stuff, and it fills up my wall. There's more you can't see. I got a Yogi Bear autographed baseball over there. It's
Nice.
just a just a fun little hobby. I haven't bought one in a while. Um, I got one from Mitch Williams, one of the worst pitchers in Philadelphia Phillies baseball history. But I'm like, it was like it was like $10. And I'm like, he blew the World Series for us one year by throwing just a little hanging curveball to Joe Carter, who planted it in the left field bleachers. And lost the World Series for him. So I'm like, I gotta have his autograph. I mean, why not? But I've got who else I got back here? I got a Ron Jaworski autograph back there on a mini helmet, if I'm not mistaken. That's who's on there.
Nice.
Just
Well, the reason why I
just
brought it
fun
up
stuff.
last night, I was sit down and watched the UFC fight there at the White House last night. Did you catch any of that at all?
I didn't even know it was on, or I would have.
Oh man, you missed.
Well, then again,
Oh,
maybe I wouldn't have, because I was kind of tired last night. Last night was the day I got back from
oh,
Maryland.
that's
I
true.
drove straight through. I went to bed about 8 o'clock, so I probably wouldn't have watched it. I was
Yeah,
I was wiped out.
it came on about that time, and I tell you what, you'll catch the replays. It was good. I don't normally sit down and watch fights. I've watched over at friend's house and there and everything, and I've been listening to a lot about UFC through different podcasts like Joe Rogan and us. So it's like maybe I ought to just sit down and start watching them again. Now you can watch them every Saturday night for free if you got Amazon and Paramount Plus, or you just got Paramount Plus app. I guess you can watch them free every night instead of pay-per-view, which is cool. Which I think I'm going to sit down and watch. But there was some good fights, especially the last fight of the night. Um, that was cool. I won't spoil it for you. You can go catch her a little bit of that. That one guy, he wasn't going to give up until they made him give up. He probably would have went blind. He's just his. I don't know how he could
Oh
see.
wow.
him. But he was fighting hard. He was fighting hard to retain his title. The other guy wanted it more. So I thought for a minute the challenger was going to be out and out. I can't think of the names because I'm not versed in it very much. I've watched it. I like sitting down and watch football, watch baseball now and then. I'm not one of these guys that's got to know all the statistics and this play and that play and
Oh yeah, right.
build up the
No.
thing. I just like to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't know who's who, how they got there. Which people that do that, that's really cool. They dive into it. Maybe they need some different hobbies, but I just like to sit and watch. It was fun to watch these guys grapple. I've done a little bit of martial arts when I was a kid, a little bit of Taekwondo. I'm no expert. I know a little bit, probably enough to hurt myself, especially now where I'm 40 and, show the kid a couple of things like, oh, I can't do that anymore. I got to stretch first. Now I know why they say stretch. So it was pretty good. Do you watch much of that? In the past, a little bit of boxing and all that?
I don't. I was into boxing back when it was boxing. I haven't really gotten into UFC stuff. Um, but yeah, it was fun back in the day. That's for sure. Watching
I,
Mike
I I
Tyson just
remember growing
steamroll
up
through
in the
everybody.
90s. Tyson. Mike Tyson biting what's his name ear off. Watching it. That's how
Yeah.
I watched it from off the side. I didn't realize my grandpa, my mother's father. I guess he watched the fights all the time. She's when she was a little girl growing up. So they'd go watch on TV, watch the boxing match, sit down with a Sprite and sit there and watch it. It's like I didn't know that. It's a cool thing to know. So, but yeah, today's boxing world, I've heard that a lot. It's like, oh, it's not really boxing anymore, and but you know, I don't know. I digress. But back
But,
on to it.
but Larry Holmes, 100 years ago, Larry Holmes, when he won the title, he was from Easton, Pennsylvania, which was right across the Delaware River from where I'm from, Phillipsburg, New Jersey. And my neighbor came across to me and my brother and said, "Hey, Larry Holmes is coming in to Easton, to celebrate his championship. You want to ride along?" So we got in the car with him and we went over to Easton and we got to see Larry come in on there's a big circle in the middle of Easton and he came in a convertible holding his championship belt over his head and stuff and he
Nice.
rode
That'd be
around the
cool.
circle. It was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. Seeing, catching stuff online on Facebook or through people sharing different things of the yesteryear and such. Pretty cool stuff. I mean, the history of it's pretty fascinating. Um, I think I'm going to, or now where I know it's every Saturday night and start watching the fights, maybe. Some of the moves it says were pretty cool, and it's just like I'm like, oh, yeah, a nice roundhouse. Ooh, hearing the smack and watching, like, oh, I'm glad I'm not in there. If I tried that, I'd probably just die. Especially I'm
I'd
41
just
now,
give up.
right?
They'd hit me
No,
once and I
thank you.
would just
You
give up.
win. Tap out. Oh,
I'm good.
well, let's kind of wrap things up a little bit here. You're working on. You said you're working on book 3 of Jasper the Rabbit. Is that
Well,
correct?
book
Or just
four, actually.
book 4?
Yeah, we got
Sorry,
3 books out. Yeah.
I
No,
know.
that's all right.
Oh, it's been a long day. The heat's getting to me. So,
Yeah,
um,
I've got 3 books. I've got 3 books beyond book 3 written. I've got the one about the mole, and he's got a Jasper's Christmas book is out there,
needs washed.
and
Not
then
the
there's
pan
a
on the
book
stove, but
about
on the counter. Sorry, kid.
that's all right. Then there's a Jasper book about stock car or just racing. So that was kind of fun.
I'm still
I
thinking.
figured since I got that sponsorship on a sprint car, I should probably write a Jasper book about racing. So
Yes,
don't know
yes.
when that one's going to come out, but it was kind of fun to pull together.
Yeah. You got to do one special for um, Robert Garcia. On mission with Robert Garcia,
Yeah,
Jasper Rabbit
Commando Jasper. I don't know if he's going to make.
team up with Robert Garcia and all the shout out to Dr. Robert Garcia, our friend. Sorry, got to do it in my NPR voice. Shout out
Oh
to
yeah,
Dr. Robert Garcia. Um, yeah, that's all I'm going to leave it there. So maybe one of these days he'll actually listen to this. So I'll send this a clip to him when it comes out. Um, what do you got going on for the future? I mean, you got the 4th book coming. You're working on 2 of your sci-fi book. More songs to come.
yeah.
What else you got in the?
Well, we're going to. Tony reached out to me about doing another song in September. Once the first this album of his um, about a woman is the name of his album.
Oh
That's
boy,
on
that's a
Spotify.
deep
So
subject there.
if you're into country music, it's a really good CD. And mine is the 8th track on it. But once that blows over a little bit, and he's thinking September, October timeframe, I wrote a song because my daughter is going through the process of adopting a child. And I wrote a song about that. And he's like, man, that story's too good not to tell. So he's going to try to find a female vocalist to help him out on it. And we'll probably
Very cool.
release that one sometime the end of this year or the beginning of next.
Very
So
nice.
kind of looking forward to that. It's a really good song, really touching song. I like to write songs that touch just about everybody and just kind of reach out and grab your heart. So
Well, that's what music's supposed to do. I mean,
yeah.
that kind of inspire you, bring you up, help you work through situations, let you know that you're not alone and such. And that's one thing about that. Music is awesome. I don't
Yeah,
listen to much of
my
it
daughter
lately.
keeps telling me, Dad. she keeps telling me, Dad, when are you going to write something upbeat? It's like I like the country storytelling angle more than I do upbeat. I don't know if I could write an upbeat song,
We'll get
about
Doug.
just
We're gonna get Doug
ridiculous
a
stuff.
long hair out there and do a rock star, with guitar, right? No? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen. No.
Oh man. Um, hey, before we jump out of here, do you have any words of wisdom you want to share with people about writing songs, books? They got an idea. Do you want to
Yeah,
pass on?
just what I like to pass on is just like kind of life in general. There's no such thing as failure. It took me a long time to realize that. It's all learning, and you push through the failure slash learning, and you get to your success on the other side. Don't Failure just locked me up for so many years of my life. People telling you no that have never done what you're trying to do, and just don't listen to them, man. I mean, if you got something you're passionate about, go out and do it. There's not going to be a right time. It's you're never going to feel like you're ready to do it. Just go out and do it, and you'll learn as you do it, and you'll just keep pressing on, and you'll achieve your goal. I mean, we don't get a practice life. This is the only life we have, and as I like to say, if it's the only life we have, we might as well make it epic. So just go out there and be you.
Very true. Very true. Again, where can they find your stuff again?
Yeah, it's everywhere online. Barnes and Noble, Books a Million, Amazon.com is probably the one everybody uses the most anyway. You can order it at local bookstores. You can get it at your local libraries. It's available through Ingram, which is one of the largest book distributors in the country. So
Very
pretty
cool.
much anybody can order it or get it for you if you're looking for it. Yeah, and my social media, jasperandfriends.com is the website. At Warthog462 for I think it's Instagram and X,
Nice.
and most of the other stuff, I think Threads is the same thing. So if you're looking for me, you can find me. You can just put Jasper and Friends in Google Web search thing, and it'll pretty much pull up all my stuff. If you see a cute little bunny rabbit and my name, that's going to be it.
So maybe one of these days we'll talk him into getting Jasper the Rabbit hard action live action movie. Oh, I don't know, sounds good. So uh, well, Doug, appreciate that you sharing that story on that. Jasper Rabbit's always been pretty fun to listen to you, and the different things you dropped out through the last few years of meeting you. It's pretty cool to see. So I appreciate you coming on the
Thank you.
show. Hopefully
No
this
problem. Thanks for having me.
uh, get some more publicity for you. I'm trying to use big
Yeah.
words. I'm ready for winter. I'm not liking this heat. It's 90 degrees and I'm not liking it. No, no.
I'm digging it. I'm ready for a little summertime. We're getting ready to go to Myrtle Beach now at the end of this week for a week. So, and I'm finally retired, so I can enjoy the whole week and can't just, before it was like, oh, I can be there for 3 days, but then I got to go back to work. So,
Yeah,
nope, not this time. I'm there the whole
that's one
week.
thing I hate about vacation. You sit there and you're like, okay, we're here. Try enjoy. But then you're thinking, oh, I got to get back to work. We got to leave this. Do, 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 do. Hate that. So the moral of the story, when you're on vacation, turn that phone off, relax a little bit. You only live once,
Yeah,
right? So.
exactly.
Well, Doug, as we say in the shop, stay sharp, America, and remember, there's only one King, and that's our Lord Jesus Christ and Savior. And I'm screwing this up, so forgive me. So, anyway, have a great day. If you want to know anything about Jesus, want to hear some more, reach out. We'll be glad to have a conversation with you. Again, thanks for joining Behind the Anvil. We'll see you all next time.